Hello, so today I'm going to be doing a couple of little bits of maintenance. It's been raining all day, so I can't get out and do the rest of the trailer, but hopefully I'll get the last trailer video up that I did last weekend, get that all sorted out and uploaded soon, so we'll see where we're at. I've only got the side lights done, as you will probably see, but I'll let you watch the other video for that. So today I'm putting a plate on the bottom of my sack barrow. I bought the sack barrow mainly to transport my toolboxes, especially this one, because it is quite large and it weighs a ton. Not literally a ton, but it's heavy, and if I want to take it out to the car, it's very much a two-man job. I can do it on my own. It's just a pain in the backside, and I don't want to drag it through the house, so to take it around the back I've then got to dodge my next door neighbour's car. So I have a sack barrow that I bought for it, and every time I use it I have to put a piece of plate steel on the bottom of the sack barrow, because the bottom of the barrow isn't long enough to come out the front of the toolbox, and on the toolbox there's this lip here at the bottom. I don't know if you can see where I'm pointing at here, but it's hollow on the bottom, so if you lift it up and look under, you can see the bottom of the drawer rather than the bottom of the toolbox. So if I were to put it on the sack barrow without the plate, the bottom of the sack barrow would be pushing into the bottom of the drawer, so that's going to mess the drawer up. So I use the plate steel. Now I've just sort of thrown it on there and left it in the past, but I want to make a slightly more permanent job, and I will show you what we're going to do. If you wish to come down here with me. Okay, so to fit the steel in, it's just slightly too small to get in between these two bits. Okay, I have cut it on one side already, and I've just got to cut the other side a little bit to get it to fit in, and then this centre bit is to come out so that it will slide past here, and my plan is then to drill a hole here and drill a hole here and just put a little bolt in, not necessarily a big one, just to stop it sort of falling off, and just have it as a slightly more permanent than it is. I don't want to weld it on because I don't want it to be completely permanent. If I need to throw it in my car or put it somewhere, I want to be able to take it off. So little whether M4 and M5 bolt in there just to hold it in place, I think would be perfect. So what I'm going to do is carry on cutting the holes, and then all we then have to do is drill the new holes. Okay, before I start grinding on here and cutting, I just want to point out some safety that I've started using recently. These were a purchase I made on Amazon. They were on a sale. Ordinarily I don't really like having headphones like this. I much prefer having the in-ear earplugs, because I feel like they work a lot better. But normally when I do this sort of just a little cutting jobs here and there, I wouldn't bother putting any sort of hearing protection on whatsoever. But these have changed my mind. Like I said, I normally have grab some here, little packs of like disposable earplugs. I don't know if the light there is messing it up, but you just roll them up and put them in your ear, they expand, and then they close it off, which is good for when I'm doing like long term, like if I were grinding, or like when I was doing the trailer with the wire wheel, long term use. But they're annoying in the fact that if someone then comes out, like my parents come to talk to me, I've then got to pull them out to be able to do anything, whereas these, I put them on, they don't make as much difference as the earplugs, I will grant that. However, they do make a relatively decent amount of difference. So when I am doing small little cutting jobs like this, I can just grab them from the side, pop them on, and long term it's protecting my hearing, essentially. So yeah, big shout out to these are absolutely brilliant. They are Pro case, don't know if you can see that there. Okay, so they were on sale. They were 20 quid and I got them for a tenner. So not bad going if you ask me. So we're going to use these, do these cuts, and then we'll make a start on the rest of it. Okay, and now we've just got to check that our bolts fit in the holes, which they do. So now all we need to do, mark it out onto the sack barrow. Okay, so what we're going to do, I've pulled it a little bit away from the edge just to bring it forward a little bit, as my toolbox is 10 inches deep. So when it's sat along here, I want to make sure that there's a little bit coming out the front so it's not spot on. So this brings it to 10.5 inches. And now all we need to do is just mark where the holes are at. So, get my pen. Maybe mark with the blue one then, that would be helpful. Okay, that's not going through. My pen is too fat. I will just grab another one from in my box here. Okay, they're all blue. Okay, I don't have any black fine tip markers. Not to panic though. I will go to plan 2. Okay, if you can't always find something to mark a hole and you're not overly fussed about the finish, you can just get some spray paint and you just spray over the hole. Obviously the paint goes through the hole, ignoring the bits around it. So when I pull that off, I will have a nice black dot to go by. Okay, just before I do carry on with sorting out the sack barrow, I just wanted to take a little bit of time and just sort of discuss a couple of tools that I have. I'll start with this. This is something I never thought I would buy. I've always seen them about, and I've always thought they were really sort of a novelty item. However, since buying one, because a couple of my mates had them and they said that they were really good to have, I cannot stress so much how awesome it is to have all my sockets in the one place. Before I used to keep them in my toolbox. Up here I have this drawer here just full of sockets right from the back to the very front, and the other one with a couple of rails on. I've still got a rail in here with some sockets on. These are my small ones because there weren't enough small bits on here, and I couldn't transfer the tabs off this rail on here onto this one because they didn't quite fit, and when I bent them to make them fit, they didn't hang on to the socket very well, so I decided I'd just keep the small ones in the top here out of the way, as well as there is a complete set of small sockets in there, like on the front row here. I keep them in there just in case, you know, I've taken my toolbox somewhere, gone to a friend's house or something, and I haven't brought this with me if I didn't think I'd need it, but then needed sockets, so I've got some spare ones in there. But it's just so awesome to have things organised. Like at the front here, I have a load of Torx bits, and they just used to roll around in my toolbox, and I could never find the one that I wanted. But having had this, I can put them in a row in size order, and I can just go straight to the one I want and know exactly where it is. I haven't got to hunt for it, I know where it is. And equally, if something goes missing, I know it's missing because there's a space. Like I've got my hex heads here, Allen key heads, however you want to call them, and if one goes missing, I know about it. I'm quite good at losing 5mm bits. I will admit that myself. Yeah. So no, it is absolutely awesome having everything in one place. Like I said, you can see if bits are missing all along the front here, along here, starting from here all the way along. These are all sockets, and these are in size order. The first smaller sizes go up in 0.5, and then it goes up in 1s, and then the larger ones are on the end here. So it's just fantastic. Another tool that I really love to use is my Makita angle grinder. I've had angle grinders in the past, and if you use them a little bit too much, then they start to overheat, they get hot and they smell. This one, however, is an absolute machine. We got one at work, and I had previously used the one at work a couple of times, and I just liked how it feels. It's not crazy heavy. The handle feels relatively nice to grip as well, and this is just an absolute machine. I've never had a problem since buying it, and yeah, it's absolutely fantastic for the job. Like, I don't use it every day, day in, day out, but when I want it for a job, it is there, and it just plows through it, whatever I need. I also bought the 9-inch version of this as well, which I've got under the worktop. That's the 110. So I've got the transformer for that, so I try not to use it unless I need it. But this absolute machine. Okay, so I've drilled the holes and I put the bolts in, and the holes line up, which is good news. Although I have found that I do not have small enough spanners for small bolts. I had that problem on the trailer as well. I went to do the bolts up on it, on the side markers, and I found that all of the small spanners that I used to have, they've just vanished. I don't know where they've gone. I needed a 5 on the trailer, and I needed a 7 to do the M4s, and I don't have either. The lowest my spanner set that I've got goes to is 8, and that's the same with all the ones I've got on the wall as well. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but I think I'm definitely going to have to buy some more spanners. So what I'll do is, I've got a pair of mole grips, and I'll clamp onto the back with them, and I'll do the nut up with a spanner, with a socket at the front, because I do still have all my sockets, fortunately. It's really awkward. I'm going to flip it up and do it from the other way. Do it from this way. You can indeed see. So, I'll get the mole grips on the nut on this side. Socket on this side. Something going over here. Okay, and that is our plate bolted on. a semi-permanent plate. Which is now bolted on and ready for use. Okay, final test. We've just got to make sure that the toolbox fits. And we'll just grab the toolbox. Okay, so the toolbox down here is right up against the back of the dolly sack barrow, and there is, I think it's about a quarter of an inch stick out on the front here. Okay, so a nice bit of room extra just to allow for a little bit of clearance. But yes, that fits, so I'm happy with that. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon.